All right, guys. This is not only a watch list video for Tuesday, the market's closed Monday, if you didn't know, but I also want to talk a little bit why I'm optimistic going forward as far as day trading goes. And I want to talk about one thing we all need to look for in chat going forward. So I'm actually going to start with that. QRVO had a night, it was on the, I believe it was on, I don't know if it was on the Gap playlist. Somebody posted early in the chat room that it was a really strong one, right? You just saw the daily. So what I want to do as a group is basically, to me, become another A plus setup. And it's kind of an old school setup, but it's something we really generally don't look for in this specificity, if that's a word. So I want to share it with you, and I want to get more people in chat looking for it. All right. So anyway, we got the big breakout in QRVO, very strong morning, pulls back and just starts chopping sideways. This sideways chop, very untradeable if you're taking trades in here, right? And say you take it here on this green candle or this green candle, you probably sell it here. Maybe you go, okay, now it's going, and then you sell it here. Now it's going a little. It's coming back down. I'm out again. You want to clean these up, right? And so you can only have you have fewer entries and all that. And the way to do it is if it's that strong, if it's a breakout play and it's pulling back and it's chopping around on 5-minute candles around the 520, sort of getting into the what we call the 15th buy zone, but holding above VWAP, which is my purple line. I don't know if that's purple or pink. I want to have people looking at it on a 15-minute basis, right? So let's zoom in. And what do you have then? So now this is that choppy area, right? But it's 15-minute candles. Look how clean the stair steps are, little bottoming tail, the old school 15-minute buy setup. It hasn't broken. Once it gets down here, you've got the stair steps. You want to go long the first break of a previous 15-minute candle's high. Right here was 82.06. This candle breaks this one. 82.07 is your entry. Your stop goes below this candle at 81.52. So roughly 50 cents risk, and you close out at the end of the day. And it's by, I don't know, 250 a share profit on 50 cents risk. That's a good trade. But the beauty of it, it just cleans it up. It's just the old 15-minute buy setup. For me, the parameters are breakout, strong volume, and holding above VWAP, chopping around on fives. Very old school. But it's something that as we're trading all these different symbols and we're looking at all this different stuff, we forget to kind of just look at those clean setups. And so I just gave you the parameters. Let's not miss one all year. All right. If it meets the parameters, I want somebody to see it. I'll do my best, but I always appreciate help. So having said that, I wanted to talk about why I'm optimistic going into next week. And really, I'm going to say, I'll give it away the next 4 years. And I was tweeting about it, and some people, I think, mistook what I said. They said, well, how is Trump going to make day trade? What's he going to do for day trading? And that's not what I meant. I didn't mean Trump's going to pass some legislation to help day traders. What I mean is I traded during his last term, and he talks a lot, right? So he talks about his policies. He talks about what he's thinking about next, and he loves Bitcoin. And so he's going to move sectors just by talking in the public, right? He might start talking about powering data centers with nuclear, right? And then we can look at SMR, OKLO, and NNE. He talked a lot. It's as simple as that. We're coming off of a zombie in the White House for 4 years who didn't say anything ever, right? And if he did, it was written by a 25-year-old intern, and it wasn't about any policy, and it wasn't moving individual stocks. Trump talking moves sectors because he talks about sectors. He talks about individual names sometimes. And again, we've got obviously the Bitcoin play, and kind of any of the, what do you call it, crypto plays. I drew a blank on that word for a minute. So he's going to move individual sectors and individual stocks. And as day traders, it's our job to stay closely focused. And I guarantee you there's going to be a ton more plays over the next 4 years because we have a president that's out there in the public talking, right? And he's always trying to implement something. That's going to create trades for us, all right? That's what I mean by it. And if you were there 2016 to 2020, you know what I mean. Stocks, individual plays were moving basically because he talks a lot of what he was saying. All right, that's what I meant. Anyway, with that said, let's go into what we're watching for Tuesday. Remember, the market's closed Monday. I do not have a big list. BTCT, Bitcoin, very strong. You know what? I'll glance at it while I'm talking here and see where it is on the weekend here. 104,041. all-time highs somewhere around 107,000. So it's basically floating with all-time highs, and that is thanks to his presidency coming up. He's very pro Bitcoin. So all these plays are interesting. This one bothers me a little bit because it's China, but also it's low float, so it makes me like it. And it certainly caught on Friday. I saw you guys trading it. I left early Friday, but I'll be there going forward all week. All right, QRVO. Nice breakout too. We're definitely going to watch that one. OKLO is a little more of a sleeper pick and not a very clean chart, but you kind of had a trend line here and it broke out. It's pulled back, and it's had some headlines. And again, part of it, Trump might start talking about this sector again too. So we really want to keep it on watch. And with that in mind, SMR as well looks similar in the chart to OKLO. It had a recent high here, 24.10, and then on Friday got up to 23.23. So this one certainly looks poised to possibly start heading higher again. GSIT, massive move on Friday, but closing way off its highs. It did have a headline. We're going to watch that one. ASPI, another kind of sleeper pick. You can kind of draw the line here and see over 6 is interesting, but look down here, you don't have any massive volume spikes. So then you have to say to yourself, is this really in play? And honestly, it's kind of not. But I saw the chart and I saw it moving on Friday, so I noticed that it's kind of near a possible breakout. So I threw it on watch. Plus, I don't have that much to watch on Tuesday. BDMD had a crazy move back here, gave most of it back the next day, but then look, it's climbed to new recent highs, 3-day clean pullback, and then big volume again on Friday. We definitely want to watch that one. NUKK. I wasn't going to put this on watch, but then I looked at the chat logs and somebody, I guess after hours, they came out with a headline. This gap up and run was only because they regained compliance, right? Which is a goofy reason for it to run, but it didn't matter. It ran anyway. But you can see it reversed intraday and went out at the lows. I'm going to see if I can't spot and it's, I think it's somewhere around 1 million float. That makes it more interesting. January 17th, after hours landmark, 8.7 billion defense deal highlights Israel's innovation as Nucleus, which is NUKK, aligns with growing air defense momentum. I don't know if I'm not sure if they're even mentioned in the actual deal, but it's still highlighted it. And with this kind of action, may have some shorts caught off guard on Tuesday. So that one, it can really move when it moves. So it goes on watch. And then NRXP finally got back down to the area between the 8 and the 20-day after a really nice run. Declining volume all the way down. I'm putting that back on bounce watch. That's it. I've babbled long enough. I'll see everybody in chat on Tuesday morning.